No matter who you are a fan of, please subscribe to support me. Thank you, love you all very much. Who among the characters other than God or the Supreme Being can defeat Michael Demiurgos of DC? Michael Demiurgos is the son of Yahweh and simultaneously the brother of Lucifer Morningstar. From the very moment of origin, he was created by the Creator with a mission to accompany Lucifer in igniting the first spark of the universe, paving the way for order and life to form. Michael's role is not limited to witnessing the work of creation, but also involves directly participating in shaping the foundation of all existence. He was endowed with the ultimate power named Dunamis Demiurgos, which is the source of pure creative power directly reflecting the will of God. That flame of power allows Michael to create or erase reality on a nearly absolute scale, approaching the power of Yahweh himself. Because he bears the essence of a demiurge, Michael possesses a nearly supreme status in the cosmic order, standing only behind the Creator. That power not only demonstrates strength, but also reflects the heavy responsibility attached to the balance, order, and destiny of every realm. Michael exists as a symbol of pure creative will, cold yet absolute, where every decision can determine the life or death of all reality. It is from that very nature that Michael Demiurgos is perceived as the embodiment of ultimate power, far surpassing other entities in the order established by Yahweh. He does not merely possess superior strength, but fully reflects the infinite power of the Creator, just as Yahweh once affirmed. Every manifestation of Michael carries an absolute quality unlimited by ordinary laws, making the concept of power reach its most perfect state. At the core, the supreme power and strength of Michael are nearly identical to his father himself. That similarity does not overshadow Yahweh, but on the contrary, becomes clear proof of the perfection of the Creator. Michael exists as a mirror, reflecting the divine will, where all power reaches absolute purity. Therefore, every living being in the universe carries within them a deep awe before his presence. That awe does not stem from violence or oppression, but from the realization that Michael is the final standard of power. He defines what perfect strength is and what power is that needs no display, yet is enough to dominate all existence. In the cosmic order, Michael Demiurgos stands as a supreme limit where all living beings must stop. In short, he bleeds and is made of power itself, an endless source of energy and the spark for every beginning. Michael is the embodiment of God's supreme power. Therefore, literally, he possesses infinite power in the most direct way. He can do anything that God can do because his power is granted directly from the Father. Basically, he is a second God, which is shown when Elaine with demiurgic power could perform the entire dance of Yahweh by herself. Does there exist in Marvel an entity capable of matching that stature? Assuming Michael Demiurgos is redefined as an entity belonging to the Marvel Universe with all his inherent declarations of power, then when balancing the cosmological system, Michael would not only be equivalent but also superior to the Beyonders at their maximum enhanced state. The reason lies in his core nature, because Michael is the primordial furnace where the power of creation is born and operated. Michael does not borrow power from any source. He himself is where power is created, described by Elaine as a stream of pure energy carrying an absolute overwhelming level. With that power, Michael can destroy or restructure all eternal and multiversal layers with a simple thought. Creation and destruction in his hands happen as gently as an instinctive action, requiring no effort or preparation. That power reaches a level equivalent to the presence, because Michael actually holds the full power that the presence represents. When looking at DC, one can associate this with the hands entities that play the role of constructing and reconstructing the universe. They possess many similarities to the Beyonders and are even judged to have achievements and influence superior to them. Eidolon's assessment thus becomes particularly convincing because it highlights the disparity between reality manipulators and an entity that is the very source of all concepts of power. We can observe that the hands utilize primordial essences extracted from the source to construct the multiverse while acting as supreme judges over those creations. In relation to the similar nature of crisis and anti-crisis energy, Michael Demiurgos appears as an entity approaching infinite power. The reason is very clear, because he has the ability to birth creation continuously without ever running out, as if he himself were the endless source of existence. If we consider the presence and the source to be a unified entity, then that power is expressed directly through Michael's level of existence. To surpass him, another entity must approach that very level. This means conquering the source or even reaching the void. However, the Supreme Presence has many times shown his limits when only attached to a single creation. The void exists as an endless and eternal realm extending beyond all who created it. To the void, all creations are just fleeting moments in the boundless vastness of itself. The richness and diversity of all things measured on that scale bear almost no significant meaning. They exist fragilely like brief heartbeats, while the void silently encompasses everything immutable and infinite as an absolute testament to the concept beyond all creation. So, is there anyone in the Marvel Universe who can match this endless, chaotic, and void realm? Yes, the Creator is one of them because his mind is the infinite cosmic void from which all creation arises, just like how the void is considered the mind of God. Therefore, when looking deep into the structure of existence, one can realize that the void, the mystery, and the Creator do not exist separately but are closely linked in the same entity covering every level of the world. All layers of reality from finite to infinite are born, shaped, and included by the presence of these concepts. The Creator or God has thus risen above all limits. The void is not the opposite of God, but a deep aspect reflecting that absolute transcendence. Is there any entity that can match what exists in the void? If Yahweh is not the Lord of all creation, then concepts like time or night clearly exist outside, his scope even rising above Michael. However, that does not mean every ancient entity reaches the pinnacle of power. Mother of Horrors is often mentioned as a symbol of primordial horror, but she is not among those supreme existences. The one above all demonstrated absolute superior power, defeating her completely and causing her will to exist to nearly collapse. If Michael were placed in the Marvel context with all his inherent strength, he would not only surpass Mother of Horrors, but also demonstrate a much greater stature. At that time, Michael is not merely a powerful entity, but becomes a symbol of the supreme creative nature, where all concepts of birth and death, time and void must bow down. Besides, there is Cleito, known as the Mother of Dreaming, an entity existing beyond all familiar frameworks of reality. She not only stands outside of creation, but is also the deep starting point, helping creation to form and continue. Cleito's presence far exceeds Adam Kadmon, the forefather of the human lineage who holds the ability to protect and navigate the dreaming. At the same time, she is also superior to Maya, the goddess of illusion, and the direct embodiment of God's dreaming. This shows that Cleito is not merely a part of the dreaming, but the foundation where the dreaming is born. Similarly, the fallen stars also possess a nature that transcends the dreaming. They not only perceive the dreaming as a structure of existence, but also have the ability to stand outside and observe it from a higher position. Jobberg once reached a metaphysical state completely rising above the dreaming, where all concepts of form and idea became tiny. At that level of existence, the dreaming is no longer a limit, but just a fragile wave in the endless ocean of the self. These entities thus represent the final boundary between creation and what is beyond all creation, where origin, consciousness, and ability to exist blend into a deep and mysterious whole. The two ultimate names are Bythos and Sophia, even though they do not belong to the mainstream flow of the Marvel Universe. Both represent a state of existence beyond all familiar frames of reference, merging as one with eternal infinity, where everything present is born. They not only stand at the starting point of all things, but are also the foundation for every concept of existence. Sophia bears many similarities to Maya in spiritual interpretations as an encompassing principle of consciousness where all illusions and perceptions are formed. Although the names are different, their nature reflects the same source, the same idea of primordial wisdom. Bythos conversely reminds one of the ancient oblivion, the embodiment of eternal void. From that absolute empty state, creation arises again as a beautiful paradox of existence. Any entity existing in the mystery realm beyond even the supreme being can be imagined to bear the likeness of Michael, not by form, but by nature. That is the nature of origin of power, needing no proof of presence, making every concept of limits meaningless. At that level, all names are just symbols, while real power lies in the primordial role that those entities hold in the infinite structure of existence. Michael was granted the demiurgic power of God, a power likened to the whisper of primordial fire, capable of both breaking and creating. It was this power that laid the foundation for creation, while Lucifer used his will to shape and lead it into concrete form. Michael does not need to issue orders or calculate because his power itself is already a supreme command enough to shake every level of existence. In the Great Celestial War, Michael once used that power with such overwhelming intensity that a single gesture was enough to end the entire conflict and wipe out every opponent. However, his failure did not come from weakness, but from betrayal. Sandalphon stabbed Michael in the back, turning that absolute moment into a tragedy. Sandalphon's plot did not stop at dethroning Michael, but aimed to usurp his genetic material to create a new race of angels to ignite another war that was more brutal and ambitious. Michael is the very embodiment of God's infinite power, specifically the pure creative power. If his essence were damaged, if that body appeared with even a single crack, then all life would vanish in an instant. This is because Michael poured all his power into the work of creation, engraving it with the name of God, constantly renewing every second and minute since the dawn of time. Through that process, he is no longer just a separate individual, but has merged into all existence, becoming the silent beat maintaining the life of us all. So guys, that's it for now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Love you much.